Hey, it's me, Big P, and I'm excited to share with you all my League starter idea for Heist, the 3.12 Path of Exile League. If you've seen the channel before, it should be no surprise. It's going to be an Inquisitor, and it's going to be Crackling Lance. I feel like I'm comfortable enough with Inquisitor, and I like what the Ascendancy does, to kind of just start with it and try a couple new things. Not exactly a bunch of new stuff. There is a lot up in the air, and people are trying to figure out how the new skill. It looks like one of the more promising new skills, so figuring out exactly what's going to be optimal for it, it should be a fun little puzzle this league. So I'm going to go over some of my choices because I know I actually just watched like the 2 hour long video that Zizarin and Nugi did where they made a Crackling Lance Inquisitor, and I think that's really good. Too, I learned a lot there, but I still kind of made my own choices here. I'm from a more softcore perspective, and I think that some things that the Inquisitor does, I just prefer to have. I think they did like a non-crit build with the Ascendancy specifically taking these two, which everybody always told me these suck, and I'm like, all right, that's fine. I'll just get um, immunity to elemental ailments forever, and then also, of course, Inevitable Judgment's one of my favorite Ascendancy nodes of all time. I think it stood the test of time, and even, no, yes, I know, and especially with the new curses, you can get negative resistances, yada yada yada, all those setups. I think, that's not what the Inquisitor, is meant to do. The Inquisitor is meant to be a nice, clean league start where you get a lot of front-loaded damage, ignoring the resistances on your crits. So you just kind of go generic crit. And, this tree is just generic AoE spell crit, really. I mean, that's really the biggest thing I know if you have some like apprehension about starting with a new skill. I think this is probably one of the safer ones. This one seems to be on the the kind of more overpowered side of the spectrum. Sometimes new stuff is a little bit underwhelming. And even if it's not, there's a lot of safe stuff to fall back on, like ball lightning and stuff like that. So I'm not really even really going to go into the tree. I would honestly recommend, if you need more of an explanation of what's going on here, take a look at that long video that Zizarin and Nuki posted. I'm not sure where it is. Maybe I'll link it probably in the description here. The only real things I think are worth mentioning are glancing blows, which, even though it's nerfed, I think normally I don't really go. Well, first off, I don't usually go for a staff. The Dust On, I think, is going to be kind of a nice early investment that I'm going to be able to make, just something to 6-link early, and I'm pretty sure it's one of the few, because I was going to use, it's one of the few staffs that's just going to be really nice for us, especially considering how much block chance it gives on base. I was going to use the, what is it, Anger, like, what is it? Yeah, the Anger Rods, Agnerod, but, because that looks pretty good on paper, but the damage penetrates 20% lightning resistance, and even the strength requirement. I mean, we do, yeah, see, we like barely miss that strength requirement, so it's not really great. What is our strength requirement here for inspiration? Oh, probably vitality. Okay, that's fine. We'll go into the gems that I'm going to, again, because that's not really set up either, because we don't have any of the new gems. This build's probably going to try and use the new Sigil of Power in some capacity. It's not going to be Archmage. I'm not comfortable enough with Archmage, and I don't think Crackling Lance is a good skill to use with Archmage because you're going to be spamming it a lot. Instead, you kind of want to focus on like the hits and the shocks and stuff like that. It's still going to work probably, if you have enough mana, and mana flasks are like basically cheating, like with all the new prefixes and affixes that you can get on that stuff. I don't really have that much experience with that though, so I'm just going to do kind of a more straight-laced build. But yeah, going staff, you get really nice stuff like counterweight, and just chance to block is going to be really nice too. Almost 50 spell block. I don't know if we can boost that here. There's not that much stuff for staff block on the tree. You get like this stuff here. Mystic Bulwark is nice. I've never really done it before, so please let me know if like one of these like nodes that I've taken doesn't actually work with staffs or glancing blows or something. Like this one has like, damn, what is it? Like there's more stuff here. I guess something to mention is, if you don't want to stress your tree, I would probably go all the way to Doomcast, but if you don't want to take this, you can take this off, and go into more life here, probably through tireless and maybe combat stamina all the way down to the life wheel. Can make some cuts elsewhere. I just really want to get to the intensity. That's really because the gem has built-in intensity to it, and then it's just going to be good. Trust me. Like this, I think if you can get to the 4-stack cap of intensity, it's basically going to be like a a skill gem and a half. It's going to feel like that's really the idea. So cast speed is important. We're going to get some here, some here. Cast speed with lightning skills, it works on this. It's like just nice to have. Inquisitor has a lot of just nice things that are going to be. Do I get cast speed on this? Oh no, I get cast speed here on Pious Path. That's right. So it might be a little bit slower of a start. You can try this in a lot of different ways. Trickster was something well, everyone is really considering because it's still an incredibly strong ascendancy just generically. I like Inquisitor. Inquisitor's on the other part of the tree. That might be able... You probably can get a little bit more defensive stuff. Like Trickster takes maybe a little bit more investment. I'm not really so comfortable doing these ES builds, especially as a league starter. Even as hybrid, I think Inquisitor just gives a lot of nice stuff. Let's go into the skills to mention it. Exactly what we're doing. I think Intensify is absolutely necessary on the build because it's built into the skill gem, and then it's like, oh, I was going to read it off the skill gem, but we don't have it yet. But it has it on it, and it has basically everything you say here. So I think it stacks multiplicatively. They said that, and then also supported skills have increased area of effect. Like it's just you're gonna run it, okay? Added lightning, 90% damage effectiveness on the crackling lance is pretty nice. So getting big, beefy lightning hits is going to be really, really dank, I think. Spell Echo, if this works with Intensify, where you can get 4 stacks of Intensify in 2 casts, then this is going to be fantastic. So much so that maybe even going for... what's that? Pledge of Hands as the staff instead. That's probably going to be a little expensive, though. I know. Shouts to Big Ducks. Big Ducks is doing a build that probably still using the Ball Lightning build is using Pledge of Hands. So yeah, and I think it's kind of not so secret anymore. I'm gonna use Dust Dawn. Hopefully, that's like a cheap option that like people are kind of sleeping on. That's just going to be relevant for this build enough. Inspiration is going to help with the mana cost. Hopefully. We're gonna have to see whether or not the whole spamminess of the skill really causes some mana sustain problems. Inquisitor does get some options there. We're gonna see like what we're gonna have to balance it with, which it might be clarity to some degree. I know it's not really used like that. It's kind of shitty, honestly. We might have to do more on the tree, but we'll get there when we get there. We might even use a mana flask. I mean, it's not that bad. But either way, we're probably going to be using Wrath and Herald of Thunder, and then either Vitality or Clarity, depending on how they are. I think Vitality, the newly buffed one, is going to be really nice. Overall, I think Inquisitor's pretty much like a glass cannon. There's like a little bit of defensive options, but like not really. So I'm excited to try a build that's going Glancing Blows and Block and Staff. I guess it is worth noting that like pretty much this whole section, I'm not really going to go into here. Light of Divinity quick. Maybe I'll make a leveling tree if anybody's interested in that. But again, you can just go the this is an Niggy video to really go over like in depth. I'm already making this too long because there's a lot of little things and choices that you can make. But yeah, Elemental Overload for leveling. You just come all up under here into Heart and Soul. You fill out a lot of the dank stuff here, like the spell block. I'm probably going to be using a dagger for crit chance. Spell dagger, rune dagger, whatever you want to call it, and a shield for decent bit, maybe to get like fortify, shield charge, curse on hit. We're just gonna play it by ear. Yeah, I don't want to make this video too long, so I'll upload the original POB, and yeah, let me know what you're thinking about Inquisitor. Crackling Lance seems good. I think Heist is gonna be fun, and it'll be like a fun little project to tweak and work on while we work towards the countless alts I'm sure I'm going to make this league. So looking forward to more build guides. Stay tuned to the channel. We're going to be streaming it on Twitch probably the whole weekend, probably the whole week, maybe the whole month if it's really that good. Come check it out. Thanks for watching.